And there we go.
And there we go.
We're
So
live.
hi.
Hi. And hello, everybody. We should say that we're doing this on Thursday afternoon because I have to go to a dance convention this weekend with my
I do
daughters.
miss those days. I'm not gonna lie. That was some of the best times of my life going to those dance competitions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is a convention, not a competition.
Oh yes, fair. Lots of
So
nasty stuff.
slight difference, but
Yes.
yes, but I will be spend the weekend at a Marriott in beautiful downtown Winston-Salem.
Those for those of you who are not in the competitive dance world, the conventions are like the place where you sit in the back of a very large room while your child is dancing in a master class and you're on your laptop. Like that's pretty much
Pretty
that
much.
was the drill for me for hours.
Yes, except she's 13 and she's like, Mom, Dad, I don't need you. Please don't embarrass me. Just let me go. So probably won't be doing that. Instead, you're sitting and doing whatever. Is she okay? I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
And so that's
soak it up. My daughter's probably last, performance of her life is coming up in May. I'll be talking about it then probably, but
okay, cool.
Because it's end of an era. She's 21. She's a senior in college, and it's going to be one final show, and it's probably going to break me. So,
I can't imagine that. Although I think she's 13, but she keeps talking about wanting to maybe be a teacher, so a dance teacher. So we'll see. But interesting. So anyway, we're recording this on Thursday. If there's something that has popped on Friday morning, sorry guys, but boy, it was a busy week. Anyway, I don't know what else could pop between now and then. Because
I know. It is. There was a lot going on. So hopefully, I want to say hopefully nothing does. Hopefully we have a quiet. It's 3:25 p.m. Eastern when we're actually recording this. So hopefully we have a quiet, 12 to 18 hours.
I hope so. Speaking of quiet, apologies if you hear a phone in the background. I actually just realized I can't reach to go turn it off.
barely hear it. So
right.
But yeah, that's mine is off too. So let's get the plugs out of the way, right? The shameless plugs for the things coming up. We are so deep into conference season here at Green Book. So, we have our APEC event that is coming up really in, I think, like 2 weeks or something. Carly's got the prices up on the screen for registration. Go ahead and take advantage of these prices and get yourself to Bangkok. It's such a special event. I think I talked a lot about it last week, so I won't get too into details, but use the code EXCHANGE for a sweet little discount on your general admission ticket. And then we are very quickly going to shift gears to IAX North America. And then we're going to even more quickly probably shift gears. But North America is our flagship event. It is in the heart of DC. I'm sitting here thinking like, we should tell them about the venue change for 2027, but we're not going to.
not yet. The soon to be FBI building, but not yet.
Yes, this will be in the soon to be FBI building. So last year, if you were there, you know that it was in the Ronald Reagan Convention Center, and that building will be taken over by the FBI. And we don't believe that we can be there next year if it's going to be FBI headquarters.
It'd be interesting.
I don't know that I want to be there if it's going to be FBI headquarters. Yes. So, so we're thinking this will be, our final year at this venue. So if you want to check it out, it is a spectacular building and it's in a great area, the heart of DC. And there's our pricing up there. Thank you so much, Carly. Also code EXCHANGE for 50% off general admin tickets. And then on its heels is going to be Europe. So I don't know. We have prices for that too. So thank you, Carly. Same code applies across the board. We are in it, Lenny. We are in it.
And our other big initiative, Grit. We don't have a code to bring up, but there will be a link that we can share if you haven't got one in your email. But Grit, the new round of Grit data collection is out. Please participate, right? There's been times we're doing it twice a year, seemed kind of like overkill. This is not that time. Things are changing so quickly, and they truly are. And this is how we measure that, so we can give the data back to you. We're using this definitely from the view of let's separate hype from real signal. So please look in your inbox. If you see the links on social media, take a few minutes, participate in Grit. It's how we help you.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the most poignant conversations that we've had this week internally is just the speed of change right now, or the rate of change right now is so great that, this is the only, kind of industry research effort that is run and completed and shared in a 6-month period. Lots of people might be doing, there's other reports out there, right? But they are not being fielded and analyzed and shared out as quickly as this one is. This one is as real time as we can get in the industry. And I think that's worth pointing out. There's a real point of differentiation for this initiative of ours.
100%. You said it so much better than I could, as usual. So, well, speaking of change, can I start with this next one, because this was something I was waiting for and we've hinted at for quite some time. It was coming. If you pay attention to these things, Listen Labs, who won the Insight Innovation competition at IIEX just 2 years ago, AI first moderated technology, just did their Series B at 69 million, which brings their total to 100 million raised.
Yeah.
In less than 2 years.
Yeah.
And guys, that's just follow the money.
Yeah.
We kept saying that. This actually, my understanding was this closed at the end of last year. I did have knowledge that it was coming. Was waiting for it to be announced, because I think it's just, and look at the investors.
Yeah.
So the major heavy hitters, folks that have invested in most of the major tech platforms. And I don't think that necessarily needs to be indicative of thinking that, are they going to become the next big, maybe they will, maybe they won't. That's not important. What's important was the trend.
Yeah.
The trend of the revolutionary aspects of these types of technology on a mature business, mature category, the insight space.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, this Forbes article.
Yes.
It was great to see them in Forbes also. So Carly will share all these links out. I think what's really talking about their, 500 mil valuation, or being valued at that amount. But what I think is really interesting about them is I was just sharing, I think I also shared on LinkedIn, the moment that they presented is locked in my brain, because when Alfred was up there and he and his colleague, like, they dropped the survey, and I don't think you were there at the moment, but they had a kind of a gimmick on stage where they shared the survey that was, thick as can be, in a good old fashioned survey, dropped it to the stage with a thud. So they created like this sensorial, like, ooh, that was a lot of paper reaction to an old way of doing things. And they were wearing lab coats and those. Anyway, it was one of those things where I had that moment of, oh, they're going to win. And it was, you could see it, and then we kind of went on the journey with them the first year where they were working things out. And then when they got their first round of funding last year, they're a great combination story of talent and timing, right? They just hit it right. They had all the right they have the right personalities. They have this right entrepreneurial, well-educated spirit, but they also just hit it at the right time. I feel like there's been other players too that have come out and but we're doing it too, And it's like, nope, they nailed it timing wise. So they did. Well connected and a little bit of luck. Good stuff.
And Alfred, there's another link where Alfred, the CEO, was talking about their journey and this particular milestone. And I would really encourage you to follow him, because he shares a lot about the founder's journey. One, they're masterful marketers, and but it really has been interesting, being very transparent. And do you remember when all this first started, AI research GOAT? Remember reaching out? And I think you did the demo. I did not, but you did the demo. And that was the first iteration, right? Of trying to get this right. So there is a lot to learn from them as entrepreneur, or just as researchers, as business people. And hats off to them. Congrats.
I mean, and they also, there was another post that Alfred had shared. He recognized a turning point in their lives when it was winning the competition. And I love that.
Yes,
right?
I love that too.
Like, I love that they are like, we are not going to overlook that small thing. So for those of you who are thinking about entering our Insight Innovation competition, this year, keep in mind that is a momentum builder for, a
100%.
success story like this one. It's been a momentum builder for a lot of people, but in this case, theirs. But we've had we had some talks with them that first year, whether it was you having them or me having them, where it's like we're like, let's just give you some advice, or let's just give you some experience, because they were like so young and energetic and excited. And there's, I feel, and I'm sure you do too, there's just something about them that it's like, all right, they heeded people's advice. They learned, they were anxious to learn. And I bet that's something that the investors saw in them and liked. In the world of sports, one of the things that, that you always look for is somebody who's coachable. And I think that Alfred and his team represented that. They took it in, would like it or not, they took in feedback. And I think that mattered to these investors.
So good stuff. So, and clearly a signal on the acceleration of all the trends we've been talking about, right? And we saw last year a lot of A rounds, smaller. Now, again, this company's 2 years old, guys, already at the B round, already at a 500 million valuation. And that's incredibly strong signal on the pace of change impacting the industry. So, so pay attention. And that
they're also, by the way, plugging our newest event that we're launching this year, which is IAX West. They will be our title sponsor there. So if you are like, I really want to see what they're all about, stay tuned for information about IAX West, because they will have a nice presence there. They're in San Francisco, will be in San Francisco. They'll be a big part of what we're doing out there. So
cool stuff.
Speaking of money.
Speaking of money. Now this it should be clear. So this AI data platform Protege, not Protege. There's a lot of people who are like, what? Protege, the sample provider? No. This is Protege, Protege, not DEG. Raised 30 million Series A. Now this was why is this interesting? So Protege would likely be selling their data assets into Protege. It's just weird.
There's others that are like this also. I know we've tripped on this before where
yes.
All good.
But so their point was to take lots of different data sources, normalize them for LLMs. And we've talked about that, the opportunity now to take, lots of data that different companies in the industry have, and to be feeds for AI training sets. But there is a certain structure that those data feeds need to be in for that to be effective.
Yeah.
That is what Protege is doing, and they got 30 million on a Series A.
30 million. So,
to do that. So so the ecosystem of data monetization is expanding. We already had Snowflake and Databricks and all those, and now we have another one that's really built on the refinement process. So
it's nice to talk about a week where two companies in our ecosystem get $100 million. It is nice.
It is.
All right, friends.
It is. And then we had some some cool tie-ins.
I think this next story we're happy to share. Norbert Sari is a really kind of another good friend to Green Book. He's kind of a great marketer in the industry, and frequently helping us out at all of our events, chairing or facilitating or moderating, or just speaking himself. So he acquired the marketing division of Harpeth Marketing. So Steve is taking a step, not back, not away, but taking a step towards kind of a focus area of, kind of teaching sales, webinars, sales, kind of helping people do that, as opposed to, his marketing clients. So he has transitioned that business over to Norbert. So we wish Norbert luck. We hope it's a smooth transition for all of those clients. And it's always nice to hear, friendly partnerships that evolve into the next level. So that's good stuff.
Absolutely. And hats off to Steve Henke too, right? If you guys follow Harpeth, I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. So
yeah. And I believe he still like helps us out too with our, pre-event webinars for sponsors and exhibitors about kind of like how to behave or how to get the most out of it, or how to maximize and kind of leverage the opportunities. So we're grateful for all of it.
Yep, cool stuff. And then Curian merged with Blue Yonder, so now a transatlantic leader in insight innovation. Their real focus is product testing, like true product testing. The Curian was built off of. I have a soft spot for them because one of my very first clients was Q Research when I threw out my shingle many years ago, and they built off of Q.
It's so funny that you have a soft spot for them. So, Insights Now, who also did a lot of, food and beverage product testing, we always kind of watched Curion and we're like, what are they up to? With like a more of that competitive thing. So like you have a soft spot for them. I have them in that other category of what are they up to?
Yeah. It was private equity play to buy Q Research and Patty Nelson, those who remember Q. I will tell this story really quick. So I got laid off the day before Thanksgiving in 2003. And I happened to have a call scheduled with Patty, who's the CEO of Q Research, became Curion. And Patty said, don't worry about it. You work for me now. You're a consultant. I'm cutting you a check for your first month retainer. You'll have it by Monday. So there, when I say a soft spot, it like really was like a personal, oh, I love you.
That's very nice. I love even just a story like that, which just really kind of shows you about, human nature. So, and the human beings that you know and love. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, we could probably share a lot of those. Like there are people that really do you solids in this business. And I like that about our industry. It's probably elsewhere, but maybe not. Maybe we're unique that way. So
I agree. Hey, my relationship with Greenbook started in a very similar way, but we won't get into all that. All right, bunch of new product feature launches. You want to?
Yeah, well, DScout and Hey Marvin launched an integration combining research execution, AI-powered analysis, insight management. I know of DScout. I don't know enough about Hey Marvin, but to me, this is like an example of what we've been talking about, which is two people with different areas of expertise saying, how can we make each other better during this time? So,
we released an interview with the CEO of Hey Marvin. I did as part of the CEO series.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that now.
Yeah. So very cool. It came from outside the research space. Kind of building a research system with a qualitative framework primarily. So cool stuff. Interesting. Cool name. Hey Marvin.
Hey Marvin.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. No, I like it too.
SideX, our friends at SideX, their whole new AI-powered open-ended text analysis on their platform. They keep kind of building out their data collection platform with putting new features in. So that was cool. Blurring the lines between quant and qual.
Yeah. And we have a few others that are sort of like this with these like rollouts, right? Some of these product launches, which to me, I'm like, so AMC Global added it's called PFU Qualclips AI. So again, AI moderated qualitative insights during early product launches. Yep. These, I felt like, okay, here they come. Here's more of and we're doing something too. And we're doing something too, because we've said this is table stakes. Right. Everybody needs to be doing something.
But it's all qual. Yeah. Right. And we said that was the shift. These are AMC Global sites. These are quant. They're quant, right?
Yeah.
Primarily.
And they're moving in. So I think I mentioned I'm excited because I'm going to the QRCA conference. So I'm really excited to get what the buzz is. How's everybody doing out there in that kind of niche of our industry? So I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about this.
Growing niche.
Yes.
Growing niche. The Amperity, the customer data agent. Since these not a company I would think of as playing in the research space per se, but they're taking data. I think it's primarily CX data in their world, but creating segments, helping with identification and trends analysis, off of a non-traditional research data feed, global data. They're agentic AI, Ava. It's an analyst. Reason, plan, and act to deliver insights. So, so they're going down that fully agentic of like, you just do the work for me. Click. Which will come up quite a bit in our next, as we get to that in a few minutes too.
Exactly. Yes. Put that to the side for just a moment, but not a very long moment.
Yes. Did you get a chance to look at the Clinch?
No, I didn't. So Clinch is launching these Predict IQ scores. You're more tapped into the kind of advertising measurement than I am. So what'd you take away from this story?
So they kind of position it as in-flight corrections. So I guess they're leveraging, after you launch an ad, they're leveraging data on feedback and giving it back with AI predictions on how to change the ad or the campaign, as it may be, in relatively real time. So you're optimizing ad performance based off of other data. I mean, there's a lot of data exhaust that exists within kind of programmatic advertising networks on on users, et cetera, and pulling all that in so that you can keep refining to increase optimization in real time. So it
I mean, it's not to me, this doesn't seem like they're the first, but again, this is everybody's got to stay competitive now. So if this is your business, you must get competitive.
Right. And I think that's I sorry we glossed over that point. I think it was an incredibly important point that you made earlier. That's I don't think saying me too, that's not right. It's just everybody is realizing, oh, okay, here we are. And that's probably a good segue. It's easier to get there.
The thing about AI agents, so we're switching into like some higher tech talk, right? Google unveiled their purpose-built AI shopping agents for retailers. So helping customers find products and get support. And it's been, kind of in pilot mode with Lowe's and with Kroger. We have this great kind of article straight from Google about it. This is a good time, by the way, to be subscribing to Google News because Google is, all of this. There's a lot about Google. There's a lot about Gemini. Of course, there's a lot about Claude and Anthropic. And so if you are of this mindset, like this is a good time to be on to just find out what they're talking about, because these stories are happening all the time. But more of this agentic AI in the retail environment helped me find. I actually, I think that as a consumer, this is all going to feel really fluid for me. Like I'm looking for something, and then the next thing do you want me to order it? And we'll come back to the software piece, but it's similar to Google's announcement about this personal intelligence, which is built into your phones, kind of a Gemini app that's in beta testing about, like, hey, it's sort of what we're seeing all across the board is, do you want me to do this for you? Or, hey, find me this photo. I don't know. Here's a very personal use case. Do you guys have somebody in my family recently asked me if I had a picture of a dining room table that she had at her house in, 2003 or something like that. Like, do I have that picture? Wouldn't it be great if I could say, I can not only find the picture on my phone, but this personal intelligence would be like, found it. Would you like me to send it to, your niece? And I'd say, actually, yeah. Like, not only find it, but then take that next step for me, just make it brainless. I have a request. Do you want me to help you with this request? Yes, please. So literally we have a personal assistant for all of these things that we use our phones for. So imagine my son says to me, can you babysit on Saturday, January 31st? And not only does my phone get that message, but it says, do you want me to check your calendar for you? I say, sure. And then it says, you're available. Would you like me to block the time? And I say, sure. Like, I don't have to do the work for these personal tasks. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and we should point out this particularly, I pay attention to this one, Google, because we didn't link it here, and that's fine. I'm sure everybody heard about it. Apple has struggled with AI. They solved that by using Google.
Yeah.
So everything we're talking about, these Google, and you're thinking, oh, I'm an Apple user. Well, guess what? You're about to be a Google user too. Yeah. So
you may have an iPhone.
But the Gemini AI is what is going to, is going to be embedded into the iOS operating system. Yeah. So and all of that. Let's go back to the Steve Newman thing
Yeah.
after we talk about Anthropic, or the other Google announcement around personal intelligence. Everything you're talking about, there's this consumer agentic component,
Yeah.
but then they're also expanding that out from a, I guess, work perspective, of a series of agents that integrate across your device and now perform various functions from a work standpoint, and you can make that very personalized. Your example,
and we're not even like, there are things when I'm not even like, I'll pull something up. So there's, these integrating Google testing, Gemini auto browse built into your Chrome browser, and I operate in Chrome. But there are times when I'm like, I'm like, oh, did I go into AI mode, or is AI mode now the default? Like I get confused every now and then, because I'm like, I'm getting an AI answer. And I didn't know that I asked for an AI answer. Do I mind that I got an AI answer? Like, it is going to become seamless, and we're not even going to be mindful. It's just going to happen.
Right.
Like,
right.
We are just the users, and things are going to change on us. End of story.
100%. And Google is, is doing it. Of course, Microsoft is as well, all the operating systems, and we've talked about this, kind of leapfrogging, a few months ago. It seemed like the ChatGPT, by all accounts, Google and their AI is now ahead of ChatGPT by the things that are measured. Right before that, it was Grok, right? So they're all going back and forth, and but they're all going in the same direction.
That was my thought about this week's, as we were looking at these, and when we have the other one about Anthropic previewing co-work, which is a whole new way of kind of bringing Claude's agentic powers into the mix. But I'm like, this race is actually really interesting to watch. We are high speed. We have multiple players. They are all going in the same direction, though. This is not 100%. This is like, nope, we are all going, and somebody's pulling ahead. We're not at the finish line. Somebody's pulling ahead. Somebody else falls behind. Maybe somebody has to stop to change a tire.
Right.
Let's hope their pit crew is good. Let's stay with that analogy. I like it because,
right. And it's like from a segment standpoint, right? So OpenAI was first out of the gate. They have the largest user base. And it's a mix of personal and business. Obviously, Google also has a huge user base.
Right.
So, kind of by default, when Google's playing in this game, well, they say, well, we have more users because, people that use Chrome or anything, and rolling that out. And then you have Anthropic going for the enterprise play. So let's talk about the Anthropic, because I saw so much about this. It was just crazy. Anthropic, their co-work. So it's already been kind of out there, that Claude for developers on the tech side of the industry, Claude's the bomb, right? That it seems to be the default system that tech folks use for dev work. Now they rolled out this Claude coworker, which Claude wrote. So my understanding was that this went from idea to execution in less than a week. And that Claude itself, Claude the AI, did this. Created this with minimal human intervention.
Well, and I don't know about you, but have you used, because I have used, like, one engine to, like, tell me how to talk to this engine? That is one of my most favorite things to do. I got this back from, I did this work in Notebook LM. Can you help me write a summary of it or whatever? Like, help me understand.
I go back and forth between them.
Platform, because I've gotten myself confused. Like I'm using them all for help understanding. And, like, one of them might be really good at synthesis. One of them might be really good at just kind of communication. One of them might be good at the coding, as you're talking about, or the development. So I love the idea of using them to make themselves better and to launch new products. I think that's great.
Well, this brought up an interesting thing that would be a good for as we wind down into our other stories and reads. I saw so much this week on X of developers they had implemented this Claude co-work, and I think the same thing, we could argue the personal intelligence, Google, we're talking about the same things, basically.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Claude co-work specifically has strength in coding. The of people like, I worked an hour today.
Yeah.
Because every task was accomplished in an hour, because I set these things up, right? All of my emails, my calendar, it's like all I do is attend meetings. The and that and the barrier to entry from technology creation. Now that goes back to, this was an important, or I thought, the Steve Newman, the co-founder of Rightly, software too cheap to meter. So this is my concern for an industry like ours that is being rapidly transformed by technology, and many of those technologies are companies.
Yeah.
And you're building a company off of a specific technology application. I have never written a lick of code in my life.
Yeah.
A client asked me yesterday, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think? And just on a lark, I said, hold my beer, right? Basically.
Yeah.
I went into Grok. I described exactly what I wanted. It wrote the entire code base, gave the entire project plan. I sent it back to the client and said, give that to your developers. Right? There you go. So the barrier to entry of creating technology at an individual level is getting close to zero. What are the implications of that for software, the way we think about it, SaaS, for any of this stuff? And I don't know the answer. All I know is it's getting weird and different. And
well, I'm jumping to the very bottom article, which is under our kind of other stories, but the Zendex article. So we have an article from Zendex, their 2026 CX Trends Report. And it's saying how contextual intelligence is becoming the new standard in customer experience. But if you read this piece in particular, one of the very last lines is, AI is not the differentiator anymore. How intelligently you apply it is. And so what you're talking about is that exact thing in action. Like, how well can we use the AI tools at our disposal? If you're an insights professional, how well can you use the AI tools that are in this ecosystem? How can you design research projects to leverage those effectively? I think that's the ticket for me. Is just now we are at intelligent use of the tools available to us. That's what's going to set professionals apart and set businesses apart. How well can you do what you do?
There's going to be so over the holidays, just because I had time to kill, I wanted to synthesize all of the data, of Grit and all of our data every week, blah 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 blah. Put it all together, make sure we had the most current view, right?
Yeah.
And from the standpoint of where are we going?
Yeah.
Right? What do we need to expect this year? To your point, what stood out really clearly is our industry, and maybe most industries, going forward, will not be defined by process.
Yeah.
That it will be defined by data, right? Got a good data, garbage in, garbage out.
Data. Yep.
What's the question I need to answer?
Yeah.
And then sense making of the results for business impact, right? Everything in the middle is going to be literally a million different tools and solutions, to your point, that do that. But the speed to impact, which is the answer for researchers, that will be the defining characteristic, which means we're right back to kind of where, consulting versus technology, except now I think the technology is what's being commoditized. Or at least has the potential to be commoditized, because the barrier to entry to create technology is becoming virtually nothing. So interesting times for all
very
that.
Interesting times.
The Time had AI reshape work in 2025. There's an article around productivity, new task patterns. It echoed everything we just talked about.
Yeah, it echoed this. There's, again, last line of this Time article, by 2050. So, bumping us out a little bit. What are we in 2026 now? So we're anyway bumping out several years. But by 2050, the most important question about AI will not be what it can do, but who gets to decide what it does. So again, it's like, okay.
Well,
So,
at that point, it'll probably be super AGI, and it's probably presumptuous to think that we get a say in that. I think it'll just do what the hell it wants to do.
Yeah, well, somebody, if they're kind of implying somebody's in charge, right? So,
so somebody doesn't mean it's going to be a human.
Let's end on a lighter note. We're going to end on a lighter note. So IFT, Institute of Food Technologies, outlined top consumer priorities for 2026. Just wanted to share this out because so many of our listeners are in the kind of food and beverage and CPG space. And this is a great deep dive on what consumers are looking for next in the kind of year to come. And I digested this because, again, this is part of my background. I've just said this before, like I was a food and beverage girly, so I always did this. But value, getting kind of the best for your money is going to be a big thing. Can't ignore the trend towards even healthier. GLP-1s are still doing their thing, changing consumer behavior. But there is also this other thing which I wanted to just kind of joke with you about. The consumers will be making food choices, kind of a portfolio based on their daily habits, but also their feelings and their actions. So like we might be getting to a place where it's okay if we want to eat our feelings because we're making a choice to eat our feelings. And I read that and I just was like, I love human beings because what this article is saying that they're doing away with like good and bad choices, saying, no, let's not have judgment for what we do. Let's just look at what we do. So I thought that was great. If you're in food and beverage, have a read.
I know that's interesting. I don't need permission to eat my feelings.
So great. I'm like,
I own that shit. Damn it.
The year it's okay. The year it's okay to do that.
Well, I have to say, I am being now. This is day 10 of really adhering to the low carb diet. I am. So I may be able to eat my feelings, but nothing I like.
No.
So
this doesn't taste good.
Meat and cheese. So, but yes, I want to get back to svelte Lenny that I had for a very brief period of time around 2018 and 2020. So this whole eating topic is top of mind for me.
Oh my gosh! Well, you should really look at this because I just thought it was so. I'm like, that is so interesting, and yeah, we want to be healthy, and we also want to, just be able to do what we're going to do at the same time. So it's interesting.
I just make like healthy burgers, healthy French fries. Can we just have healthy carbs? Can we have healthy carbs?
There's healthier, I would say. These things exist.
They do, but they also suck. But that's a whole other conversation. So. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We will be back next week live. But thank you for the tolerating the pre-recording, although I think it's still going to be very topical and good.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye.